Hi, my name is Leah Day, and welcome to this video for the Building Blocks Quilt Along. Today I'm here with my husband Josh, and he is stitching out wiggly lines in a house block. So let's get started.
Okay, I've outlined the house, and now I'm doing the ground the house is sitting on, and I'm just kind of gonna hit the wiggly lines that kind of speak to me. Not necessarily worried about knocking them all out.
And then you're really running the machine fast, but you're hardly moving the quilt, so you're going to need to either speed up your hands or slow down the machine with your foot pedal. And just notice that straight off. So you're not going to hit all of these lines. You're going to only knock out a little bit of this matrix.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, there you go. Faster moving hands does make it harder to stay on the line, so you can't always just simply slow down your foot pedal. And that way you'll have more control and those stitches won't get so tight and tiny. But that's looking good. We all get wobbly stitches, and it's just that adjustment. Just one of those things with pre-motion quilting, you can't run the machine super fast and have our hands moving too slow, or the stitches just get super tiny and compacted to the point that they don't work anymore. So, is this area just really challenging because
Yes,
of
it's
this location?
and it's hard to really get a handle on what I'm doing here in the edge. There we go.
Just initially what I'm saying, I think finding a slower speed on your foot pedal would probably be very helpful. Just like let off a little pressure.
Okay, there we go in the corner. That I like this pattern right here, so I'm going to go back, travel stitch, and try to complete this row with similar look.
So just kind of almost every other line.
Yes.
That's what it looks like to me. It's just important to know, you don't have to hit every single line. And also, this area is kind of right there on the edge of the block, and it can be just a little challenging to stitch through, so maybe even stitching every other block will kind of let you do your own thing with that area.
Let's see. There we go. Okay, happy with that.
Excellent.
Okay, now I'm going to come out and do my echoes.
And one of the things that you decided not to do, you decided not to fill the house itself.
Yes, I think that'll give it a really nice look when it's finished. A nice kind of puffy central area to really make this block show up.
I think it's really interesting. Everybody's going to want to stitch these kind of their own way. Some people might want to stitch them exactly how I planned out the block and designed them, but Josh is really, with these last blocks, really changing all of them up and making them a little easier for himself, and then also a little faster to stitch. It's kind of the two kind of coming in at the same time. And I think that's perfectly fine. If you look at an area and you're like, wow, it's just too intense for me, leave it open, leave it blank. You don't have to quilt any section if you don't want to. Want to try rotating your block. You're getting a lot of stitch offs, just your control is off, it's where you're holding the block, so maybe try and rotate it this way. That might help just a little bit. Mostly just your control of the block. Very good. Okay, and now you're going to knock out that roof.
Yep. Now where should I begin on this line?
I would probably, yeah, I would probably
Okay.
stitch this line down, and then you could go back and forth with these lines.
Okay.
You'll end up probably, well, unless I traced every one, I wouldn't know, either here or here. It doesn't matter either way. You can travel stitch along this edge if you end up down here, and then you can knock out these wiggly lines pretty easily. If you end up here, then of course you'll be that much closer. So either way. But I would say that first, little triangular shaped wiggly line would be a good one to knock out first, because that's going to be the one that you travel stitch against.
Rotate.
Perfect. Yeah, as soon as your stitches start getting a little wobbly, rotating the block, that really helps. Beautiful, that was perfect.
Almost, but yeah, not very nice.
And as Josh travel stitches, I just went, back up and around. I just wanted to point out, he did stitch around this house rectangle and around the door, and then to make sure that window was still indicated, he stitched that and just broke thread. And you can find, I've done this a few different times on a few different blocks so far, so you can find videos on how I just kind of stitch out and then hide my threads when that's over. So I'll make sure to link to that video below this video, so that way you can find that. It's one of those things that a lot of these are so complicated we can't film every aspect of them. But it's good for you to see that there's definitely multiple ways of quilting these, and definitely multiple ways of changing them up, making them easier, or just kind of having your own style to it. So that's it for wiggly lines in one of our house blocks. So this block was a little challenging. What did you think of it?
Definitely took a little bit of time to get used to doing the wiggly lines near the borders and the edges. And I really actually enjoyed the shape of the roof. That filler was fun, using the two different wiggly lines going in different directions.
Yeah, and of course, being in the center of the block, it's a lot easier to knock out because you've got the block to hang on to. When you get out to those edges, it does get more challenging. So my name is Leah Day, and this has been a video for the Building Blocks Quilt Along. You can pick up a copy of the pattern and learn how to piece and free motion quilt 42 beautiful blocks with us. You can find that pattern at leahday.com. You can also find spoonflower cheater cloth fabric that Josh is using today. It's pre-printed, all the lines are there and ready for you. All you have to do is cut the blocks apart and start quilting. You can find the Building Blocks cheater cloth fabric at spoonflower.com. Until next time,
Let's go quilt.